name's Mel, and I'm so glad you could make it to Siena. I thought you might like to come on a walk to the top of a very tall tower. Not the one we see here, San Domenico, but somewhere a little bit more central and somewhat higher. As the camera pans round, you can see the Duomo, the cathedral in the centre of shot. But I don't mean there. We're going to pan round a little bit more, and there it is, the Torre del Mangia, the tower at the centre of Siena, overlooking Il Campo. Let's start by answering three important questions. Where? So Siena is in Tuscany. It's north of Rome and in between Florence and Pisa. Why? Well, Siena was a rich and powerful city-state until it was taken over by Florence in the mid-16th century, and little has changed since, so leaving it as a small but perfectly formed and very beautiful medieval city. And lastly, when? Well, I was there in March of 2025. As we cross the square before going up the tower, let me tell you a little bit about the square, Il Campo. It's at the centre of Siena, and it's reckoned to be one of the most beautiful squares in the whole of Italy. But more particularly, it's the venue for that cross between horse racing and Game of Thrones called Il Palio, where the riders, 10 of them in medieval costume riding bareback, careen a few times round the track, lucky to survive for the glory of their contrada. Contradas are very important in Siena, but very complex. Essentially, if you think of them as a cross between a family, a clan and a neighbourhood and a mutual benefit society, that'd kind of be right. Now we're headed into the central courtyard of Palazzo Pubblico, what was formerly the seat of Siena's government. This is where you'll find the ticket office for your walk up the tower, and also a pretty scary and dramatic view from this courtyard looking up at the tower itself. Built in the mid-14th century, we're going to climb 400 steps, 400, up the 87 metres to the top. The place where you'll get your tickets is the office at the back of the courtyard. That's it, that hatchway opens at 10 o'clock every day, and that's where you can buy your ticket. Once you've got it, you turn round to head back out of the courtyard, but you keep over to your right and walk through a little doorway, which we're going to see shortly. As you pass through the doorway on the right-hand side, there are some fairly dire warnings about who should and shouldn't climb the 400 steps of the tower. It's not recommended for people with heart disease, respiratory disease, claustrophobia, vertigo, diabetes, pregnant women, or for those who aren't in good health, whatever that might mean. The first 100 steps or so take you up through the building, the Palazzo Pubblico, City Hall itself, through a separate staircase. They take maybe a couple of minutes or so, and they get you up to a room where the turnstiles are located, which we're going to see presently. Here we are. A very nice lady will take our tickets.
Buongiorno. Grazie.
La borsa, bag inside.
Okay, grazie.
Well, I hope you're impressed with my few words of Italian there, but we have to leave our bags in the lockers here. And then we go up a few more steps, and if we can find the handle, we go out essentially at roof level of Palazzo Pubblico and get our first view out across the square, Il Campo. You can see it's sort of seashell-shaped, split into 9 segments because there were 9 council members of the original government of Siena, and that's what these 9 segments represent. We were lucky enough to have an apartment over there on the other side, looking over the square, and shortly we'll be seeing some photographs taken from the apartment towards the tower with me at the top. Yeah, scary. Now, as you can see here, it's pretty narrow with not so many passing places, and still a long way to go to do these last 300 steps. This takes around another 8-9 minutes, so maybe the total climb is getting on 12 minutes or so, but depends on how fast you are and indeed how fast the people in front of you are. So the system is no more than 50 people are allowed into the tower for half an hour. So by the time you've got to the top, you might have 10 minutes at the top, say, before it's time to turn round again and come back down, all the way down. A few more interesting facts about the tower as we climb are that, in fact, Torre del Mangia is its nickname. I think it means the Tower of Eating, but anyway, it comes from a gluttonistic bell ringer who used to work in the tower and consume his wages as food. It's also the third highest remaining medieval tower, I think I've got that right, in the whole of Italy. This is where it's possible to let people by. There we are. Not much space, and we're in the final run now, just a few steps left before we emerge. Out to the top level, where we get the views across Il Campo to one side and the Tuscan countryside to the other. From our living room window over towards the Torre del Mangia, zooming in, and I should come into view at the topmost accessible level of the tower, over on the left-hand side. Yep, there I am. That is me, an awfully long way up. So, those views of Il Campo. It's a bit of a grey day, unfortunately, so we can't see an awful lot of the Tuscan countryside behind, but you can get a sense of the medieval city beneath us, looking down into the square. This is not doing my vertigo very much good at all. In the panorama, we see the cathedral on the left, just passing out of view and sweeping round over the rooftops. This is the view from the rear of the tower, looking over, normally, the Tuscan countryside. Another one of these shots that does nothing for my vertigo. The pigeons seem to be enjoying it, though. And finally, the last aspect of the tower. Now it's time to go all the way down, all the way back, retracing our steps to the courtyard. And so, as we finish, with the sun coming up behind the Torre del Mangia Tower, hope you enjoyed today. And you know the drill, folks, better than I. If you could like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff actually on this video, that would help me out tremendously. So, thank you for coming. I've been Mel, and until the next one.